Thank you for coming to my 8th grade speech. I have always really liked bush bean plants. In order to grow a bush bean, you need certain components. Beans need soil, light, and water. Bean plants start out as seeds. When a plant is a seed, it needs water and soil. A seed also needs people to plant it. The seed needs those people for its full lifetime to care for it. My parents are those people. They have cared for me for my whole life so far and will continue to do so. Thank you for always being there for me, and I hope that that will always be the case. My grandparents also fit into this category. They have always taken care of me. They come to Steamboat to see a lot of my concerts, and they came for the school play. They also made it possible for me to have this amazing education. On February 7, 2007, Lindy was born. She has been an amazing addition to my family. Lindy, I still remember the night that you were born. We fight a lot, but because we were born on the same day, you will always be my best birthday present ever. In the garden of my life, you are represented by cilantro. Because cilantro has a very bold flavor, yet it fits in with almost anything. It makes everything taste better. Soil is important for seedlings because their roots grow into it. Plants need dirt to create a strong base, which is needed for a plant to have a good life. The soil in my life represents my education. Without a good education, a person will struggle in life, much like a plant deprived of soil. When a plant is only a seedling, it does not need much dirt. As the plant matures, it is in need of more and more dirt to thrive. The same happens with people and education. When I came to Emerald, I was just a seed. Now my roots have grown to fill the container that I am growing in. I want to thank some people for being the dirt in my life. Truly, I want to thank you for being the nutrients in my soil. Nancy, thank you for inviting me to come to this school in kindergarten. Without you, I would not have had the amazing education as I have had so far. Also, thank you for hiring these amazing teachers. Marianne is obviously the cause for me learning to play cello, but she deserves more credit than that. When my mom decided that we were going to stop having lessons because of how frustrating practices were, she went to tell Marianne. She never got a chance to tell her because Marianne found a way for me to have a scholarship for lessons with her for the rest of the year. This was critical to me being successful in cello because it caused me to keep having cello lessons. And because someone cared that much about my playing, I then took music more seriously. Cindy, thank you for always giving me an extra day on tests when I needed it, and always helping me with whatever I need help with, including organizing my binder. Carrie, thank you for always telling me that I do not mess up when I make mistakes in art class, and for saying that there are no mistakes in art. Mary, thank you for keeping all the students safe and happy, and for helping us with whatever we need help with. Debbie, thank you for always being so calm and nice whenever I see you. Deborah, thank you for always helping me do whatever I want or need help with, even if it is deciding who I'm going to dance with at the middle school dance. Dave, you have taught me so many things that it would be impossible to list all of them. You have helped me grow so much as a person. I wish that I was staying at Emerald for another year, just so that I could have you as my teacher. Kim, I was really sad when you left Emerald Mountain School. Even though you no longer teach here, thank you for always being there for me. Luann, thank you so much for giving me the part of Petruchio in the play this year. You were an amazing director. I had so much fun acting in Petruchio and will never forget how fun the play was. Jen, thank you for always making classes and winter skills so fun, yet always educational. Jeff, I am so glad that I got to have you as my teacher for a year. Thank you for always giving us time to prepare for quizzes and for having really fun classes. Sharon, thank you for always believing that I can take on the next challenge. Whether it is going to high school or learning a more advanced math, you always seem to think that I am ready. I can't really remember how Mick taught me to love science, but he definitely did. The main thing that I remember about Mick is how sad I was when he retired. Beth, I will miss complaining to you about my plants not germinating and interrogating you about what I should plant. I know that Ethan will be an amazing gardener when he gets older. Elissa, my cello teacher, is not a part of Emerald Mountain School, but she also deserves to be thanked. She always comes to my concerts to support me. I am really glad that she will still be my teacher when I leave Emerald. Seeds also need water to grow. In my life, water represents everything that I do for fun. This includes skiing, biking, hanging out with my friends, playing cello, and jiu-jitsu. Because I live in Steamboat, I can do all of those things. Those things provide nourishment in my life just as water does to a plant. When a seed begins to mature, it needs sunlight. In the beginning of a plant's life, it does not need sunlight, but as the plant matures, the sunlight becomes vital. My friends are sunlight. When I was just a baby, I did not need friends. Now, they are really important to me. I have had many friends during my life, and I have met most of them at Emerald Mountain School. Thomas came to Emerald Mountain School in 2nd grade, and we have been friends since then. I remember the first and only time that Thomas came over to my house. There was ice covering the gap between our shed roof and the snow. I had walked across the ice multiple times before, so I was not scared to fall through. Thomas, on the other hand, was very scared to cross. I tried to get him to, but he would not go. Finally, after I had crossed back and forth twice and jumped on the ice many times, Thomas came. He jumped on the ice a couple of times and then came across. We played on the shed roof for a while and then decided to walk back across the ice. Thomas was still a little worried about falling through the ice, so I jumped on it a few more times to prove that the ice was strong enough for him to walk across. Finally, Thomas started to walk across. He got a few steps across the ice and fell through. I watched him disappear into a cave of ice. I carefully walked over to the side of the Thomas hole in the ice and looked down. Thomas was sitting there looking up at me. It took a while, but finally we were able to get him out of the hole. I met Louis in 2nd grade when he came to this school. He left Emerald Mountain School in 4th grade, and we are still best friends. I remember one time that I was at his house. We decided that we were going to build the biggest sled jump that we could. We found the perfect place to build the jump. It had a long, steep in-run, and there was a small drop that we built the jump on top of. I don't know if we thought we could fly or something, but we definitely forgot about making a good landing. We spent hours over the course of 2 days making the jump. When we were finally done, the jump was about as tall as we were and could launch a sled at least 15 feet in the air. By then, we had realized that we had forgotten the landing and had tried to build one in a giant stick pile at the base of the jump. The stick pile was about as tall as this room. We had piled up snow inside of the stick pile and decided that the landing was good enough. Louis got on a sled and started down the inlet. He flew off the jump and got about 10 feet up in the air. He came down on the landing and punched through. He went all of the way down through the pile of sticks. He crawled up through the sticks while I tried to move enough of them for him to crawl out. When we were done, there was a huge hole in the landing, making the jump no longer usable. Good thing he went first. I have known Finn for a long time, and we have not always been friends. A couple of years ago, Finn and I did not get along. We were not very nice to each other. I felt like Finn hated me, and I think that Finn felt like I hated him. Now, I don't feel like that at all, and I hope that Finn feels the same way. This year, Finn and I have become better friends than ever. Finn, I have had a lot of fun with you messing around in homework club and on Camden's River Trip a couple of weeks ago. I met Wyatt last year when he came to our school. At first, I thought that he was completely insane, and I'm not saying that he isn't. He was singing at the top of his voice and telling really annoying jokes. Now, we are really good friends. There was one time that Wyatt, Camden, and I were on a river trip for Camden's birthday. I was in the boat with Wyatt and his parents. Camden and his family were in the boat in front of us, and my dad was on the paddleboard. There was a rapid coming up, and my dad came up to our boat, and I got on the paddleboard with him to go through the rapid. I did not think that we would fall off, but my dad did. Wyatt, still safe on his boat, decided to film us with his GoPro. My dad and I were in front of Wyatt's boat. As we started to go through the rapid, our paddleboard folded in on us. We tumbled through the rapid and finally got out of it bruised and scraped. I saw Camden and his boat downstream a little bit and looked around for Wyatt. I could not see him, but I saw his parents in their boat. They were against the riverbank looking at something. I tried to see what they were looking at and saw Wyatt, sopping wet, walking up the riverbank. I wasn't sure what happened, but then realized that he had fallen in as well. Later, back on the boats, we watched Wyatt's GoPro video. It showed my dad and me tumbling through the rapid, and then Wyatt, still holding the GoPro, fall off of his boat. He got to a little island and climbed out of the river. Once he was out, he realized that he had to get back in the river and swim over to his parents' ranch. I have known Camden since before I came to Emerald. There have been times in our friendship when we did not get along, but now we are inseparable. Camden is a year older than I am, and when I came to Emerald, I wanted to play all of the things on cello that Camden was playing. I practiced a lot, and by first grade was playing everything that Camden was. When I was in 5th grade, Camden was doing more advanced math than I was. I wanted to do the same math that he did, so I studied and advanced to a more advanced math. After that, I decided that I just wanted to join Camden's grade. And that is why I am here today. Emerald Mountain School has provided me with everything necessary for the bush bean plant of my life to grow. I am really sad that I am leaving the components of Emerald Mountain School that have helped me grow, but I am also excited to start the next chapter of my life. I am being transplanted into a bigger pot containing more soil. I am being moved to a bigger window that lets in more light